My reliable and patient Taurus friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Taurus, there's a gentle tension beneath the surface this week. It's like the hum of anticipation right before the first notes of a familiar song. You might notice a subtle edge to your comfort, as if something is quietly shifting in the background. The usual rhythms feel reliable, but there's a sense of waiting, something unnamed, both reassuring and a little restless. You're steady, yet you can't ignore the undercurrent asking, is there more? You might find yourself holding onto moments of stability, cherishing simple routines and the warmth of familiar spaces. At the same time, there's a quiet longing that colors even the happiest moments, a question about what lies beyond the boundaries you've built. In conversations, you may feel both open and slightly guarded, wanting connection, but not quite ready to reveal everything. There's comfort in the known, but also a gentle ache for what's just out of reach. The week's emotional landscape is not dramatic, but it isn't flat either. Instead, it's layered, a peaceful surface with ripples underneath. You sense possibility, but it doesn't demand action. It waits for you to notice, to acknowledge that contentment can hold a little restlessness too. This week you sit with that paradox, the desire for celebration and the awareness of something left unsaid. Sitting here, Taurus, the 4 of Wands rises quietly in the background. This isn't a loud moment. It's the feeling of returning home after a long day or sharing laughter with people who see you truly. There's a sense that you've reached a kind of milestone, even if it's only visible to you. You know how to hold space for comfort, to nurture what's already blossoming in your life. That's your strength, recognizing the sweetness in everyday triumphs, honoring bonds that have grown over time. Yet beneath this satisfaction is a flicker of vulnerability. You might feel it when the laughter fades and the room grows quiet, or when your eyes linger on a photograph of old friends. There's a part of you that wonders if happiness is fragile, if the good moments can really last. You're not searching for drama or upheaval, but you do notice the spaces between, those silent pauses where your mind wanders to what could be improved or what's missing. This week, you're both host and guest in your own life. You welcome others in, sharing what you have, but you're also aware of your own boundaries. You want to be present to make memories that matter, but sometimes you hold back, a little cautious, a little protective of the peace you've carved out. There's an unspoken wish for everyone to feel at ease, for harmony to last, for celebration to linger just a bit longer. The 4 of Wands holds all of that, pride in what's been built and a soft ache for what's yet to come. From this place of quiet satisfaction, the path forward begins to take shape. The steadiness you feel isn't an end point, but a starting place. The longing that lingers at the edges of your contentment whispers that change is not only possible, but perhaps necessary. The comfort you hold allows you to look outward, to consider possibilities you might have set aside. The very stability that grounds you now becomes the springboard for what comes next. Your decisions this week are shaped by that balance between gratitude and curiosity. You're not compelled to act rashly, but you might feel a gentle pull to question, to wonder, to reach. The sense of safety you've built at home and within yourself gives you the confidence to consider new ideas, even if they feel unfamiliar. In this space, the emotions you hold become the guideposts for the journey ahead. As the week unfolds, the Ace of Swords appears, clear and precise. There's an energy here that's sharper than what you've felt before, a need to clarify, to cut through the haze. You may notice a growing urgency to express what's been unspoken, to name the questions that have hovered at the edge of your awareness. The world around you seems to demand clarity. Conversations become more pointed, decisions more pressing. There's a momentum here that can't be ignored. Maybe it comes in the form of a sudden insight, a realization about what's truly important, or a truth you've been avoiding. Perhaps there's a conversation that needs to happen, or a choice that's been delayed for too long. The Ace of Swords doesn't force your hand, but it does remove some of the ambiguity. You feel the pressure to speak honestly, to confront what doesn't fit, to make room for new ideas. This isn't always comfortable. The comfort of routine can feel challenged by the clarity that arrives. You might wrestle with doubts, questioning whether you're ready to say what needs to be said. But the path forward is shaped by this friction, the tension between staying quiet and speaking up, between accepting what is and naming what could change. This week, the world asks you to notice what's true for you, even if it unsettles the peace you've worked so hard to build. The pressures you encounter aren't always external. Sometimes they come from within, a restless energy that pushes you to be more honest, more direct. You may feel the urge to cut away what no longer serves, to clear space for something new. The challenge is to do this without losing the warmth and connection that matter so much to you. The Ace of Swords is not about harshness, it's about precision, about naming what you see and trusting that clarity can coexist with kindness. If the path this week feels sharp, it's because you're being called to align your words, your choices, and your desires. The journey asks for engagement, not passivity. The pressures aren't meant to break you, but to refine your understanding of what truly matters. Your steadiness becomes the anchor in this process, holding you as you navigate the shifting landscape of truth and decision. What becomes possible is shaped by how you meet this moment. The energy of the week doesn't guarantee change, but it invites it. If you remain present with both the comfort and the discomfort, something new can emerge, not by force, but by your willingness to face what's real. With conscious engagement, the Seven of Wands steps forward. This is not a card of easy victories or quiet acceptance. Instead, it's an invitation to stand in your truth, even when it feels exposed or uncertain. The growth here isn't loud, but it is unmistakable. You might find yourself challenged by circumstances, by others' opinions, or by your own self-doubt. The important thing is not whether you win or lose these small battles, but that you show up for yourself. There's a kind of courage that's gentle but unyielding. The Seven of Wands holds this energy, a willingness to defend your perspective, to honor your boundaries without turning away from connection. You don't have to push others aside or retreat into isolation. Instead, you meet the moment fully, aware of both your strengths and your vulnerabilities. Growth looks like speaking up, even if your voice trembles, or taking a step forward, even if the ground feels uneven. This week, your potential isn't about perfection, it's about presence. When you show up honestly, you create space for new possibilities to unfold. The path isn't always smooth and doubts may linger, but your willingness to engage, one moment at a time, shapes what becomes possible. The invitation is simply to remain open, to trust that your steadiness can hold you through challenge and change alike. Looking back across the week, the arc of these three cards draws a picture of quiet transformation. You begin in a place of gentle celebration, holding space for comfort and connection. The Four of Wands marks the blessing of what you've built, the laughter, the shared meals, the routines that give life its sweetness. Yet, even as you rest in this place, you notice the whisper of something more. As the days unfold, clarity arrives. The Ace of Swords brings a necessary sharpness, asking you to name what's true, to cut through confusion or doubt. It's not an interruption, but a refinement, a way of seeing more clearly, of honoring both your contentment and your longing. The path is shaped by your willingness to question, to invite honesty even when it's hard. Finally, The Seven of Wands reminds you that growth is not about easy answers or flawless execution. It's about resilience, about showing up for yourself in the face of challenge. The week's journey is not linear, but it is real. You move from comfort through clarity to a deeper engagement with your own truth. By week's end, there's a sense of reassurance, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can hold both joy and challenge, comfort and change. You don't have to choose between them. Instead, you learn to welcome both, to trust that your steadiness is strong enough to carry you through whatever unfolds next. Actionable insights for Taurus this week. Notice what feels truly comfortable and give yourself a little extra time in those spaces. If a thought keeps returning, try saying it aloud, even if it's just to yourself. When you feel tension, pause. Let yourself notice it before deciding what to do with it. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I notice the strength in my calm. I welcome clarity, even when it feels sharp. My boundaries and my openness can exist together. I trust myself to meet each moment as it comes. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.